All right. Are we live? Boom. There we go. We're rocking and rolling. Let's go. Just to confirm OBS. Go live. Here we are. We're rocking and rolling. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all. What a day. What a week. What a time to be alive. What a month. What a year. Question on everybody's mind is definitely, in my opinion at least, is Ryan Cohen about to buy some shares? I'd imagine some people are curious about that. Some people are thinking it. Some are thinking, "Oh, it's not going to happen. Like this is just overhyped because Larry Chang bought." But time will tell. Loki, I keep refreshing this just in case. Like I want to see it here first. Although I would get an email, and I just go on Twitter and instantly see it if he bought shares, obviously. But that would be exciting. That's like the first thing on my mind today. But I definitely want to keep just looking at the 10K and just getting into it and just learning more and more about everything they're doing. See if there's any breadcrumbs in terms of anything they want to do with Web3. Kind of see if that happens over time. But yeah, I got to get the chat rolling on the side. I'm going to go ahead and tweet out the stream real quick. Get set here. Damn, got to do the thumbnail later. Live. Let's go. Sir Moist, Fresh Maker, thank you for being here. You know what's up. Getting rolling. Tweeting out the stream real quick. All right. Boom. Yeah, you guys want to know a crazy stat? I don't mean to go into, the controversy in terms of holding both, right, and other stocks. But Bed Bath & Beyond 1 year ago today, if you look at the price compared to now, it's down 98.45%. That's very, very unfortunate. And what's crazy is they were buying back stock, from what I understand, in the 20s and maybe the high teens. Maybe even the low teens, but still relative to what the stock price is now, it's unfortunate what's happened with the company. But the narrative of it's just another GameStop, it's unfortunately just really not the case because there's fundamentals underlying with GameStop and Bed Bath there isn't right now. If something were that change, something with Bed Bath and Beyond were to change and there were to be evidence of fundamentals changing, I think you have a whole different story there. But unfortunately, it's just not at this moment in time, in my opinion. But can't help but wonder, after seeing this, and I saw an article today, I was actually surprised. Zacks upgraded GameStop to a rank number 2 buy when it was like a rank sell or whatever. And Larry Chang increased his position by 5,000 shares. So that was about a 22% increase. I think I actually saw an article about it. GameStop chairman, or not chairman, whoops, board member. Let's just see. Let's see what the good old internet shows us in terms of news of GameStop. Insiders who purchased this year lose 2.2 thousand as GameStop Corp. Let's see. Does make a swing with profitability make GameStop a buy on fundamentals? Let's just read these for fun. Honestly, I haven't read any articles on GameStop in a while. I used to really look at them a lot because I understand you don't want to give them clicks, but it's also fun to laugh at them and just like I feel like if you feel confident to read an article and like dismiss how silly it is because you know facts and whatever's in the article simply isn't factual or is per how do I put it? Like give it's like the perception of how the article's written. It makes you think a certain type of way or it's enlightening a certain perspective. Whereas if you have the counter perspective, you should be able to look at them and be like, oh well no, that's just because they're viewing from here when really I'm looking up here. So I don't know. That's why I think it's fun to look at them. But also I want to find this article I saw, Larry Chang. Oh, surprising article here. Oh, not this one. And then of course the Bed Bath right there. See, but then forced association right there. So this is the kind of common thing I've noticed as well. All of a sudden you have a lot of accounts with like purple circles and stuff that are like, yeah, AMC and BBY are all the same. Craziness. But at the end of the day, everyone could do what they want as individuals, and I do think people are trading them and making money. And if you could do that, good for you. But I think the issue is people just getting stuck bag holding those names without like a real future ahead, just looking for a squeeze. That's where the issue comes in, and that's where like obviously that's a very gray area. But all right, I can't find the Larry Chang article, but it doesn't matter. It just said basically GameStop insider increases position by 22%, which I was like, oh, that's surprising to see an article on that. Yeah, I gotta get chat rolling on the side. I'm about to grab the tablet in a minute once I'm rocking here. I want to go through these real quick, but I'll pull up my phone for now. Eventually, guys, when I get the PC, I'm gonna buy all my parts from GameStop because, of course, support the company. Where else would I buy them from? But what's really exciting is building the PC. I'm gonna have the dual monitor set up. I'm gonna have everything mad nice, and I'll really be situated at that point. I'll find a spot to put it. And I'm like, all right, every Monday and Wednesday, I'm gonna be in this spot and rocking and rolling, and just do some videos before, on, and after. Um, because I need to do more editing with some of the old streams, and also I'm really gonna just keep doing those like daily midday updates. Because like if something's happened or something's on my mind, honestly, why not share it? But I gotta say hello to everyone real quick. Jackson's, thank you for being here. Do you think GME has a plan to significantly grow revenue? Jackson's, I think they do, but I think it's down the line. I don't think it's like tomorrow, even next year, even the following year. I think they realize it's gonna take several years because number one, the current economy we're in, I feel like has a lot of uncertainty. So that's definitely a factor. But beyond that, what they're really trying to do is build into Web3 and the transition to the gaming industry, in my opinion. So I feel like whenever that stuff starts to really unfold and come out, GameStop's going to have like the foundation to pretty much profit on that without actually owning, like the actual cryptos. They're owning like providing the opportunity to own the assets. So they're the platform, if that makes sense. I had a good analogy for this, or someone told me. Fuck, it's like instead of buying the gold, I forgot exactly what it is. I look at it with GameStop and Web3 the same way and crypto. Instead of buying the gold, or sorry, selling the gold or whatever, like focusing on the gold, you just sell the pickaxes or you sell the mining tools. Like it's that type of thing with GameStop with Web3 in terms of in-game items. They're not trying to like own the in-game items. They're just trying to provide the platform for it. But hold on, I gotta check chat again. Then we're gonna go through this. What's up, guys? Danzo, thank you for being here. Tonight is PP plus Houston. Morantz will be breaking down the clown show sometime. It's funny. Hey, all good. Right now we can do some good DD with Tetron. What's up, Danzo? Best of Turf is very sus in GME community. Caught it. The other communities nah. 4 letters for BBY dead. Ayo Tetron Vest. I'm John Lacey. Thank you for being here. Connor Nee. Let's go Tetron. My name used to be GME stock, but I got a new email. I'm here though. Hey, Connor Nee. All right, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. But yeah, honestly, Investor Turf is definitely sus. Considering they're just saying like old stuff that like, it's kind of been known, and then like, oh yeah, we don't pump stocks, but their website could AMC go to 100K? Like, those are the things I'm talking about. Where it's like they make it so intertwined. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about them too much, but there is, yeah. There's always going to be accounts out there like that. But then again, they're going to put out information, and at least like some people are seeing it. So that's like the one positive of it that maybe didn't see it before. But the people are seeing that on the outside, then they're like, oh, well, it's still this like crazy group of people that just hold these few stocks, right? But it's like GameStop's just different than that, right? So, but yeah, I think a lot of laundry got hung out to dry with them a little bit, so to speak. Notably, recent purchase by Lance Chang is the biggest insider purchase of GameStop shares we've seen in the past year. That means insider was way happy to buy shares above the current price of $22.35. I feel like ChatGPT wrote this when I read a sentence like that. Mad funny. While their view may have changed since the purchase was made, this does at least suggest they had mad confidence in the company's future. Or mad confidence, have had confidence in the company's future. We always take a careful note that its price insiders pay when purchasing shares. As a general rule, we feel more positive about a stock when insider bought above shares at above current prices, because that suggests they view the stock as a good value even at a higher price. Lawrence Chang was the only individual insider to buy shares in the last 12 months. Guess how many sold? No, nobody selling, nobody even transacting on GameStop shares in literally a full year's time. And then Larry Chang just, swung his penis around. And he was like, boom, buying more GameStop shares, right? But GameStop's not the only stock that insiders are buying. For those who like to find winning investments, this is a free list of growing companies with insider purchasing. Could be the ticket. Get out of here with that garbage. Okay, so of course the 2 warning signs, but anything else here? Purchase made. So yeah, this is the article I was probably thinking of. I thought there was a percentage here, or there was something else on it, but maybe it's another similar article. But if you look at it, it's literally written by like ChatGPT. That's what it seems like, especially a site like this, Simply Wall Street. It's just trying to get you to like subscribe to whatever they're doing here. I think I did the free trial for it even once. I forgot exactly what it is. Maybe it's even a decent tool. I don't know, but there's so many different like websites like that out there that like let you just get a bunch of different stats, but at the same time, like you could calculate them on your own, but it's just a pain in the ass because you always have like the balance sheet that's out there and income statements, all that stuff. Strong earnings reports and GME stock higher since March 21st. Even this meme stock has rallied for substantial reasons. Don't assume this time is different. The latest change in management's focus further calls into questions GME's valuation, so tread carefully. Sure, sure. We'll chat here real quick. Hey yo, let's go Tetron. Oh yeah. You feeling right? Ryan, thank you for being here. Yeah, man. Honestly, I was just mad tired today. Got a little bit of coffee here. Just probably just a little bit burnt out. Like I don't know, maybe just tired. It was like a weird vibe in the office today too. I just feel like like everybody was like worn out. It was just like cloudy out. I don't know. Maybe it's just the weather, but feeling all right now. So rocking and rolling. But not gonna go too long tonight, honestly, because do want to rest up and get things organized before this weekend. So. But yeah, we're chilling. Actually, I'm gonna go grab the iPad real quick, and I gotta charge my laptop, so I'm gonna be right back. Stick with me, guys. Just give me like 30 seconds to 1 minute. I'll be back. All right, chilling. Just gonna get resituated. Thanks for sticking with me. All right. The chat going on the side here. Oh, gotta say hello to everyone joining in. John Jar, thank you for being here. Yo yo, dear SGME. This is the way. You said it, not me. Anything juicy come out of Superstonk lately? Honestly, Sir Moist, I haven't been on Superstonk the past couple days, so I do gotta check that actually. Just pull it up here. Because, you know, this gotta stay in the loop. Honestly, I mostly check Twitter here and there, even when I'm busy, just because I feel like whatever's important will be at the top of my feed at some point or another. And he's gone. You see the post about GME shipping 30 minutes after purchasing online. Nah, I gotta look into that. Check it out. When GameStop goes down right now, I don't mind at all. I get to buy a stock with free cash flow, about 1.4 billion in cash and a nifty turnaround. All insiders buy more. You got it, Connor. It's exactly right. It's kind of crazy to see you going down again. I'm like, all right, so be it. You want me to just start buying more? I guess I have to. I don't know, but that's just perspective of individuals that really understand a company, and I feel like that's something that's happened over time with everybody just kind of becoming knowledgeable. Because when you hold something for a while and you obviously want to become knowledgeable on it, you feel more comfortable because you know more. So the more you know, the better decisions you can make. I feel like, and that's really just crazy because I never thought getting into GameStop like originally, and I don't think a lot of people did, that you learn so much about what true investing really means. And like, I really feel like we're going to see true shareholder value over time. Just dividends, more stock splits, acquisitions, share buybacks as they go into the S&P 500. Like, it just makes so much sense. And it's just an NFT dividend. The more I thought about it, it's you need to really do a lot of things, and there'd be a lot of legal hurdles. But if the company just straight up succeeds and people just shop GameStop and support the company, and they just drive revenue with collectibles, mostly, Web3. But collectibles, you got to think there's always different things happening. Like, for example, Mario movies coming out right now, so I've seen a lot of stuff on GameStop's website with that. So Mario merch is probably selling pretty decent. Just want to go to good old GameStop.com. So stuff like that, and I really feel like that is just the long term of the company. It's just such a great thing. So yeah, great comment, Connor. John Jerry, see you in lightning streams. Yeah, that's the thing. At this point, unpredictable. How many times must be through the spring getting tighter? We were doing great. Not much lately. Mostly rants in this one. Hey, appreciate you, man. Same. How sweet is S&P inclusion gonna be? That's the nail in the coffin for the shorts until we range bound. Exactly. Yeah, it's S&P 500 is just so many funds having to buy. ETFs, mutual funds, retirement accounts. Right. For example, my 401k, I personally do 100% S&P 500. That's what I want to do right now as a young individual. I feel like that's just the best way to go. It's simplest, lowest fee structure. Eventually, my company like matches it. The longer you stay, whatever. So that's what I do, and I'd love to have share of GameStop through the S&P 500 in my 401k. That'd be awesome. So that'd just be so many funds flowing into there. But yeah, I think we go to S&P 500. We go to the Forge at least. Just my opinion. Honestly, Connor, I think we go way beyond that if that gets announced. I think that's really, really where it gets crazy. You can post this on Supersonic or r/GME because then everyone will see what they've been doing. More people wrote them off as a dying brick and mortar with no plan. Those will do research have been doing the last 2 years. We are not early, not wrong. Using stores for shipping centers instead of warehouses. Bullshit as fuck. Exactly. Yeah, I really, really think it's exciting. I'm going to check Superstonk real quick. 76 million shares are registered at nobody's Wall Street's talking about it. Oh yeah, that's the article out here. So I'll go through that real quick. When purchasing an equity, shareholders can choose to be record holders through a transfer agent or beneficial holders through a brokerage house. Many GameStop shareholders have opted to register their shares with the transfer agent. So far, Wall Street has failed to notice about the quarter. Total GameStop shares are registered at the direct registration system. And of course, they have to have it under the memes category, though, as if it's not like for real. Read also AMC, of course. And, making it look like lame, like dark, empty-ish, whatever. The direct registration system offers an alternative to holding your shares through a brokerage. This system allows shareholders to register and hold directly in their names through a transfer agent. Shareholders are using DRS as record holders as opposed to beneficial holders, whose shares are held by an intermediary such as a banker or brokerage. According to SEC Chair Gary Gensler, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's role is to maintain democracy in markets. Therefore, the SEC can't recommend that shareholders use either DRS or a brokerage. Why are GameStop investors using DRS? Theoretically, the primary benefit of using DRS is the recognition of being direct owner of the shares. Efficient, okay. However, there's another benefit of this practice. Most transfer agents, such as Computershare, the transfer agent of GME, don't lend shares to short sellers to bet against the stock. Short sellers must borrow shares from a brokerage. In theory, if a company's entire stock float were registered with the transfer agent, this would have a huge impact on short sellers who would be unable to open their bear positions. But even the fact that a lot of shareholders are directly registered with the DRS makes it more difficult for short sellers. With fewer shares available, borrow fees skyrocket. Exactly, and especially as the company's transitioning. A lot of people say like, "Oh, DRS isn't working," or like people are just saying, "Oh, it's bad." Like do what you want as an individual. That's number one, but you can't just. It's not that DRS is going to simply move the stock price, right? So DRS is going to make a share be in your name instead of Seed & Co. That's just facts. But beyond that, if more and more shares are registered, then simply more and more purchases and sales have a greater impact on the stock price. So if something like S&P 500 inclusion happens, then that's a lot of shares being purchased over time for ETFs and mutual funds that just have to buy it because it's simply part of the bucket of the S&P 500. If that happens, and then a lot of shares are directly registered, that's just more movement up because there's more demand for shares and just generally less supply. It's not that DRS shares are guaranteed no sells. Individual could choose to sell at any time, right? However, if individuals are long term and they've been holding for a while and they want to see a great return and they really believe in shareholder value in the long term, don't even plan on selling at any time in the near future, then theoretically those would be those shares, right? Because they took the time to get the shares there. And if that's the case, then S&P 500 inclusion is a lot of shares being purchased, and then a huge chunk of them, the supply, would be kind of stashed away in a sense. So there'd be a lot of demand with generally limited supply. And to me, that's the whole idea of the idea of MOAS is just massive demand versus limited supply, and that's the most basic definition of MOAS in my eyes. But all right, transfer agent, yeah. So oh yeah, of course they have to have the chart. So they're trying to make it like, oh yeah, it's kind of fallen off. It's not a big deal. It's not really going to keep improving, but we'll see. It is interesting. It's certainly interesting, but let's see. That's all I have to say. Let's go through here. Yep, see? Divide and conquer. Yep, that's always been the play. Yeah, exactly. Early, not wrong. That's facts. Mahari, thank you for being here. Welcome. They're saving money by not using a huge shipping center building. Exactly, Dan. So they have those couple like massive ones, and I think those are for just commonly selling e-commerce items and like where they really want to store their inventory, but they also have it, integrated with their stores, which I think is great. They really have like vertical integration kind of being built over time, and I feel like that's how companies really get profitable because everything's vertically integrated. It works together and things get built in-house, and I think acquisitions could also help GameStop vertically integrate even further. They're saving money, not using a huge shipping center building. I have to admit that earnings, they managed to short it further down than I expected. Me too, Fresh Maker. I thought, well, this is clear indication of a bullish path ahead or a transition or the short thesis just not really being there. But honestly, I thought about it more and I'm like, it makes sense because this is the last attempt, if you're betting against it, these next few quarters really, really are going to be impactful because people could say, oh, this one's just a fluke. But I really think the next few quarters are going to show some amazing things. And even if the next 2 quarters aren't just quite yet there in terms of profitability, I think if you look at the couple beyond that and then beyond that into years ahead, you're looking at profitability, strong free cash flow that the company will really be able to utilize and benefit with. So they could keep the thesis up for now, and just maybe a little longer. But, at the end of the day, the lower it goes, the more opportunity there is to buy shares at a better entry, if you like the stock in the long term, of course. And same fresh bought today. We'll see if it keeps dipping. That's the way. Yeah, exactly, Ryan. I heard something about GME having 1 million already for stock buybacks. You know anything about that? See if Ryan Cohen buys into these prices. I'm thinking that Ryan's selling. I'm thinking. Yeah, if it drops below 20, definitely be interesting for Ryan Cohen. Definitely think it's possible. I really, really think it's on the table. It's obviously something that people are thinking about. I was kind of saying that when I first started rolling here, where I was like, Larry Chang bought shares last time, first insider transaction in like a year. So one could only think, is Ryan Cohen going to buy shares next, considering last time Larry Chang bought shares, that was the first of 3 out of 6 total board members to go out and acquire shares in the open market. And it was at this price point it is right now, pretty much, like maybe give or take a few dollars. But, we're a year later, the company's made a lot of changes. They've orchestrated the changes from within. So I think it's certainly on the table. But in terms of, I was going to say one other thing here. Oh, yeah, the stock buybacks. I wanted to answer that. Yes, they can buy, I believe, with an old stock buyback program from they were buying back shares originally when Michael Burry bought in, and he basically said, "Hey, you guys should buy back your shares. Your share stock is massively shorted," and he bought a bunch of stock, like wrote a letter to the board saying that. Actually, I want to pull that up right now if I can find it. To the board. Michael Burry letter to the board. GME. 2006? No. Ah. I want to buy calls on GameStop stock. It pays off the company shows growth and beats expectations. Oh, this is somebody. I want to see this. 300 million share repurchase authorization gives market capitalization around 310 million compares to 237.6 million remaining on the share buyback authorization. Scion estimates GameStop has cash on hand in excess of 480 million, meaning the repurchase could be completed with half the cash on hand. The very high volume GameStop stock magnifying the practical opportunity at present. Scion believes the opportunity for game-changing buyback cannot be missed and recommends the board act and ensure the completion of authorized buyback in a timely manner. So that's when look how low the stock price was, and on a split adjusted basis now, that's below $1. So that's when he was getting involved. So, and he started, yeah, acquiring shares. Estimated event date price. So he was buying as it was going down. I guess it got revealed later. But where I'm going with this is this buyback plan, really push the price up because that just takes shares off the table, just the same way DRS does in a sense. So another share buyback would be extremely bullish, and I would really, really like to see them do that. But basically, a little bit was left over from this. Maybe not this particular one, maybe there's a further one authorized, but I know there's a little bit left over, and I believe it's not 100 million shares though. It's like $110 million worth because see, it's in 300 million here. I don't know how much they actually did exactly. We could go look at that. I mean, obviously could find that. But the point is, there's still like 110 million left, and the lower the stock price goes, so if it went to like a 52-week low, if they came in and bought back shares with that program, they just use that up. That's $100 million out of like nearly 1.4 million they have, 1.4 billion. So that's like 0.1 minus, right? That's literally less than 10% of their cash. And I really feel like a share buyback would be extremely impactful. But I feel like the company really wants to have an extremely stable balance sheet, be able to consider acquisitions, earn interest on their cash right now in this high interest rate environment. So that's why I think they're not just jumping on the opportunity to buy back shares at this moment or issue dividends. I feel like it's more so something coming down the line because they believe in the growth, and if the company's going to get there, and then when they're really boasting profits, and just growing and showing true signs of thriving through the numbers, because their mentality is, we're not going to tell you, we're not going to create expectations. Like, don't believe me, just watch. Like, I always think of the song, don't believe me, just watch, right? Like, that's what I think of every time I say that. But that's like GameStop style. Right? They're like, don't believe me, just watch. So they they just say that, and then over time, the numbers will tell the story because they're not trying to really tell the story too much. They're like, hey, watch what we're doing and look at the numbers. So the numbers will tell the story. And if the numbers are telling the story of a strong company that's just, in good financial condition in terms of free cash flow, they're turning a profit, even if revenue isn't always growing massively, even if it's just growing a little bit, but if they're making good use of their capital and they're making smart decisions, and then they say, hey, you know what? We're going to use our cash to buy back some shares and start issuing a dividend. That starts to become a very attractive investment, especially as you're entering the S&P 500. And if they just have the infrastructure for Web3, and that's where the game industry shifts, all of a sudden, that's, of course, there's a lot of things that have to happen in between. I just painted like a beautiful picture of everything looking nice, but we'll see. We'll see. A lot of things have to happen in between. But this is interesting too. From this article's from 2019, and I'm just catching this right here. Michael Burry as an activist investor. It doesn't seem likely that the famous media-shy hedge fund manager would take a page from Carl Icahn's playbook, but that's just what appears to be happening. Funny enough that he got brought up again, right? And who knows the story with him, right? I've long forgot about him. Icahn Enterprises. I watched I think it's an HBO Max thing on him. He's pretty interesting. He's interesting, right? I think he's still an interesting guy, and Ryan Cohen met with him. But whether or not he's still short GameStop, and funny enough, I shows that the big short image right here. Bad funny. But whether or not he's actually short GameStop or not, I don't care. And I think he's probably not in his position at all. That's my theory. I think Ryan Cohen just talk to him just to understand the idea of activist investing. Because if Ryan Cohen is actually getting some of these other names like Alibaba or Nordstrom, which I haven't seen a filing yet, so I'll believe it when I see it, but I also haven't been checking for it, so maybe it's out there somewhere. But the point is, I think he's just trying to learn from Carl Icahn. It doesn't mean Carl Icahn's not necessarily something with GameStop, because there's all the theories like, oh, It's him, Bed Bath. You know that boy Kaz on all over Twitter. That guy is he's something. But I give him credit for he's always. I'll give him one thing. He's always sticks by going on and on and on. Like, oh my god. I mean, it's not even credit though because he just says something about a date and then he just changes it to a later date every time the next time. But whatever, whatever. Not even worth talking about. Let's get back to this here. GME number 2 buy. That's pretty crazy. 25% come to DRS, would result in a huge upwards price moment. True. During the housing crash, surveys showed. Okay, I want to check chat real quick actually. What's happening here? Badass Trader, thank you for being here. Just going through some information, sharing some thoughts on GameStop. Appreciate you joining me tonight. Not knowing much about GME, can you help explain what direction they may ultimately want to go? Like Amazon's biggest generator is their web services, Apple's their iPhones. What's the end game for GME? Jellybean, thank you for being here. Honestly, I really think it's the service of the underlying aspects to putting gaming and Web3 together, allowing individuals to own their own assets. I feel like that's something that'll become more relevant over time. Maybe a lot of people don't see it now, but I feel like as big name gamers start to do it and kind of get onboarded, those are some potential partnerships I look for down the line with GameStop. Things like that slowly starting to shift. GameStop will have been ahead of the curve and already had the infrastructure for it. So that's really where I see them going with things. And then beyond that, you know, they have their core business, and as long as they operate that efficiently alone, that's a huge factor in things and their brand name of GameStop. But Marantz, thank you for being here, the big homie. What are your thoughts about the proposals we get to vote on next shareholder meeting? What could they be? Yeah, I really wonder. There could be a lot of different things. I have to look into it more to really give a good idea on that. But I definitely want to see what's out there. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I have to kind of see it. Why is this popping up? This is distracting me. Oh, great. Everything's safe. Fantastic. Maybe later. But, all right. Scan is done. Thank goodness. But hey, the whole gang is here. I appreciate everybody joining tonight. Much appreciated. Morant's here too. We're having Full House Morant's party. Let's get the party started. But the man himself, Morant's is here. But oh my god, I have to still watch back what you're talking to that what's his name? Like A B C D E. Is it that guy? Or I don't know what the fuck his name is, but from the PP Clown show. I have to go back and watch that still. I'm curious. I heard about it. I didn't get to watch it yet. I keep forgetting. Gotta remember that. But Relentless from now, I'll write 2 letters instead of 1 a week. Pennant director. Oh, so that's the article I was referencing before that I couldn't remember. 16% more shares. So that is a pretty, sizable increase. But overall, the amount of shares, it's not like groundbreaking. So obviously they didn't move the stock dramatically. But it just shows confidence at the end of the day in insiders. And beyond that, nobody sold in terms of insiders in the past year. There's no transactions in like 1 year's time. And in terms of just straight buy or straight sell, there's grants and the awards, and I would have to like dig into more details on that. But no straight like purchases or straight sells. Whereas you see Apple today, Tim Cook filed to sell more shares. So if you look at like Apple's investor relations and a lot of large companies, I'm starting to notice. I really start to look at this a lot now. What are insiders doing? With GameStop, that's something I've learned for sure. Um, I want to see SEC filings. Doing dishes in yard. Noah, the fake fan. I know, Marantz. I know. I knew you were going to say that. As soon as I said it, I'm like, oh, shit. He's going to call me out. The SEC filings. I'm going to call PPC show. And I had one question. Are you holding bed, bug, and beyond just because you have nothing else to do but hold? Yeah, Tetron rocking this Wednesday. I'm here for it. Ben, thank you for being here. Look at the shop. Look at the shipping. Oh yeah. My bad, John Joe. That's what you wanted to look at before. Found efficient ways to improve shipping times as we streamlined operations and cultivated a fast-paced and immense operating environment geared toward cost containment, efficiency, and profitability. Order shipped less than 30 minutes after ordering. Bullish. That is actually awesome. That literally less than 30 minutes. Yeah, exactly 1 minute under 29 minutes. But next time I order something from GameStop, I'm going to pay attention to that from the time I place the order to when it actually ships. So I recommend all of you guys doing that too, because thank you for saying that, John Joe. That's something worth watching. And if you kind of notice it slowly over time, it's one of those things. Obviously, it's not always going to be consistent. And if you order in the middle of the night, probably not going to be very quick, right? But over time, you can kind of see each time you order there, online, anything, just kind of keep an eye on that. That's definitely interesting to see. And yeah, that's a good point because he did say that on the earnings call. Cut up 66 million in bonuses from top Credit Suisse executives. But what's crazy is they're talking about laying off 20 to 30% of people now. That's crazy considering the Swiss government basically is forcing it to happen because the bank is so massive and clearly there's something messy going on there and poor decision making just with looking at Archegos alone. And that's a whole debacle itself still being like fully organized from what I understand, which is kind of crazy. Um, where's the SEC filings? Yeah, see, here we go. Form 4s. Look at all of them selling stock right now. They all know what's happening underlying, I feel like. And I mean, I don't want to be like a fear monger, but I don't know. I just feel like it has to get worse before it gets better for like things as a whole, just generally speaking. And I like no specific time scale. But is this one senior vice president? Then where's the Tim Cook one? Yep, Timothy Cook. That's the boy. He sold. Chief Executive Officer. First massive sell in a while on his good chunk of shares. So look at that shipping type. So rare to see someone using Brave browsers. GG Tetron. Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I just I don't know. I started using it and I like it. And I was like, it's supposed to be like so they don't really like use your data as much from what I understand. I mean, I don't know. I just like it, but I just started rocking and rolling with it. And I get my 50 cents of Brave token or whatever. I forgot. Well, I have to figure out what wallet it's even going to. I don't know. I don't think it's really ever going to be much, but just in case, I got it. So I don't think Ryan buys it until the trend after earnings is broken. It's possible, John Jar. Honestly, at the end of the day, he has so many shares, and I thought of this crazy idea. What if down the line he just comes in and buys a bunch of shares? But obviously, he wants to get the best entry. So yeah, he maybe would maybe wait for the trade. Blah, totally butchering words there. Wait for the trend to break or shift in some way, or maybe there's something major on his mind. We never know what's truly going on behind the scenes, like his own personal life, his own finances, and I'm sure he has the money on hand to purchase at any time. But I definitely wonder if he's going to buy shares sooner than later. Because I would imagine it would be sooner than later if he really does believe things are going to be on the up and up soon. So, not to say that if he doesn't in the near future, that he doesn't think things are going to improve over time in the near future. But I don't know. It's definitely like the mysterious question. And I think it's pretty funny how it's like, it's always like a low key thought. It's like, could a certain someone be maybe wanting to buy? And it's such a bullish indicator. And at the end of the day, it's even if it was like 1,000 shares or 1,000,000, like it doesn't even matter. Just the fact that he bought shares, it would just turn so many heads. And it's like, damn, this guy puts his money where his mouth is. But even if he doesn't do that, he has such a sizable position, and I really feel like he's gonna just focus on GameStop for a long time. I know he sold Chewy, but that's really what made him. I could really see this guy at GameStop for like a very, very long time, but I don't know. I don't know. And if that's the case, he might just like keep choosing what to do with his shares year after year. Just hold or hodl, and maybe just holds or hodls forever. We'll see. Uh, Lives rent free in the head of just the possibility of it happening. That's powerful. That's facts, John Jar. That is straight facts right there. Because I always think I'm like, what if Ryan Cohen's buying shares today? Like since the Larry Cheng one, anytime I check the stock, like, especially in the morning, to make some kind of move, I'm like, was that Ryan Cohen buying shares low key? Are we gonna get a Form 4 later today or tomorrow? Like I don't know. I start getting like jumpy like that, but I try not to even check the stock during the day anymore. I really try not to because I found even just having it open in another tab, it like messes with your head. Like, where you're just like, I'm just checking, and then all of a sudden you're like, how many times have I checked this? And why am I even thinking about the stock price? Like, even if I'm gonna buy and like, oh, the price moved down 50 cents, like, oh, okay, well, I'm 50 cents off my entry. Like, so be it. So be it. I'm long term anyway. But to me, the fact that he didn't sell is what bullshit the fuck. I agree, badass. I agree very much because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Ryan Cohen this, or rug pulled people with Bed Bath. He could do the same to GameStop. If you want to do the same to GameStop in terms of you wanted to rug pull, right? Then he would have did it after January of 2021. He wouldn't just choose to hold or hodl a share since then. So I think you're absolutely right. Just that fact alone is major. And because he even bought shares once since it being post January 2021, I think that it's in itself is like, yeah, he puts his money where his mouth is, and he hasn't touched a single share since. He's just choosing between a hold or hodl. So I think that's, yes, extremely bullish in itself. Let's see. Check out this post here. If you were to buy options, how far out would you purchase them? Not financial advice. Jeff, I've shied away from options, but I'd have to say as far out as possible if I truly had to answer. But honestly, I don't think options is play for GameStop, but of course, do what you want as an individual. I've had GME on one screen during market hours almost every day since January 2021. Badass. I respect that though. That's pretty badass. So honestly though, I think you're much more familiar with charts, and you definitely are probably a trader, considering, badass trader. So knowing that, you probably feel more comfortable looking at charts. For me, I'm like, oh, oh, what's gonna happen? Like once I start having like a TD Ameritrade, like I tried to day trade in the past, and like maybe it's something so I could do down the line, but I don't think it's for me. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what kind of trading you do, but what was I gonna say? Um, my original play getting into GameStop, I don't know if I've ever shared this stuff, was an option, but that was the age of options, and as a young individual, people in college, people are trading options. So me and my friends are like just group chats. My own friends like GameStop. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, like what's going on here? And I just made a ton of money off Palantir, and I had lucked out on the option like completely. So I was like, let me just throw a little money at GameStop, and this is a learning lesson in the end here. I'm not saying like go run and buy options. I want to be clear. Um, I bought GameStop options, or like just a couple. Farthest strike, literally weeklies. I was like, I don't even care. I just lucked out so much on Palantir. I'll just throw a little bit at this. And it started rallying that day, and it was the day Elon tweeted it after hours. He said, GameStop, and it exploded. And I never got to sell them. I literally wanted to, the options during that day, because they were rising so much. I was like, oh my God, like I'll just take it. I'll just take it. But I was out of day trades because of Robinhood. I was using Robinhood. And I was out of day trades. And I was like, holy shit. And then after hours, I was like, oh my God. I didn't even sleep that night. The next day, I made an unbelievable amount of money for somebody my age. At that time, I was, if that was January 20, I was like 20 years old. It's like ridiculous. I paid off a good chunk of a student loan, but there's a catch to the story. It sounds all great and grand, right? And like, oh yeah, no, Tetron's going to go trade options forever, right? No. I got greedy, and I tried to play options again on GameStop. Going forwards, like, in that like post January 2021 phase. And I got burned, and I lost almost all of what I made, honestly. And I was like, fuck. I mean, I paid off some of the student debt, but then I was like, had other money in there, and basically it was just the dumpster fire in the end. And I was like, wow, so much stress, and like I had that massive trade, and it's just overshadowed by like poor decisions in the future. And then at that point, I was like, why do options when I could just have shares? And that's my story of like the very beginning of GameStop. And honestly, that's why I've shied away from options, because I'm like, there's opportunity there, but shares, I don't have to worry about dates or time frames. And obviously, my perspective has changed a lot since that time period, where I really see the company driving shareholder value in the long term. And for that reason as well, and I don't, it's not option holder value. It's shareholder value. So lesson there. I don't know, but again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like I did all the crazy shit in the past, like like the get rich quick type of things. Like, oh, just trade this option, just follow this person. Just like I never did like paid courses and that stuff. Like or trade forex, day trade crypto. Like I tried all that, and fortunately, I was at a young age where it's like I didn't have any real money to lose, so I kind of got all that crap out of the way, and I've just learned so much since like really being involved in GameStop, and I'm just blessed to be here with you guys. But gotta check back. To me, if you were to buy options, if I had one GME Or I wonder if GME is going to detach from the market or run up while other stocks are down. Options are very enticing. They are, David, but I'm telling you, they're fucking stressful. For GME, I used to do trend trading. Actually, really boring, low risk trades that produce consistent returns. Baddest trader name was really iconic or ironic, lol. I ran selling in a MOAS level event, in my opinion. That's what will happen. Yeah, makes sense. No, that's good to know, badass. That makes sense though. But that is a good name, honestly, badass trader. And you got parentheses GME after, so you're straight chilling. Before GameStop, I traded penny stocks or mega caps, but nothing in between. Fair, fair take, badass. Great story. Thank you, Brats. Yeah, honestly, I don't fuck with options now because of that. I'm just like, yeah, it was fun at the time, and again, because I was young, like, I really feel like I didn't understand the value of money until I got out of college, and also just wanting to put money into investments, and also like wanting to do nice things with my girlfriend, but also wanting to put money towards the future. And I'm like, okay, like all of a sudden it doesn't make sense to just throw money at options, like, so yeah, yeah. But let's see here. Turning point. Um, as of 5 Class A stock registered with our transfer agent. Okay, turning point here. As of March 2022, there were 197,000. Oh, okay, okay, I see. So this is the chart. Let's see. As of, there were record holders, 1,683 record holders. So they didn't name the record holders here. And then suddenly here, such a dramatic switch in terms of the speech. And the split dividend was here, which is certainly interesting. So since here, though, like, I see why this line is here right now. It makes sense because all of a sudden this number's like almost flat, which is just oh so strange. Doesn't seem like it should be, but at the end of the day, I'm just glad personally my shares are directly registered to computer share because I feel the best there. But even beyond that, this is just it's interesting. But turning point, the rest are held by record holders. Means okay. A lot of numbers here. Cneco must report small holdings for future GameStop filings by record holders, buy hold DRS, meaning that I think the squeeze is on. Time will tell. Time will tell. This is definitely an interesting post, but it could be a turning point. Again, time will tell. Numbers don't lie over time. We'll see what the stock does. And at the end of the day, the longer the stock is lower, I really think it's more of an opportunity for individuals to, one, if they're not in it, just understand what's really going on here in the long term and where the company's going. And then those that are in it have an opportunity to buy more over time. And that's also something I've learned with GameStop. You don't have to like rush to buy shares. In the beginning, I wanted to buy shares every second I could, every dollar I had. And then I realized, like, also stressful. Like, you don't want to stress yourself out. Like, that's the whole point of why you like invest and not trade in terms of like being zen, because you just want to hold and you don't want to like have to lose sleep at night or ever be like, oh, I got to move this dollar here or there. Like, I remember like just because obviously in college, like, you're a broke kid, so you're just like do whatever. And I was like, oh, I got to put like my last like $10 in fucking Robinhood, you know what I mean? Or like, oh, I just paid off this. Like, I could do that. I just got my last textbook. I can start putting some money back in stocks. Oh, pick up an extra shift at Marshalls. So, oh my God, the Marshalls days. I was talking to my boss about that today. My Marshalls days, good old times, but crazy times, crazy times. I was talking about how this lady threw a store credit at me, as in terms of like a store credit, like when you give store credit. So like on a fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a gift card. But she wanted like a brand new gift card, like you buy for someone. I was like, I can't do that. You have to. That's like a different SKU or whatever. So I was like, I have to give you one from here. She's like, oh, I don't want that. Okay, and I gave it to her, and she was still complaining after. I was like, okay, and I really was not even being that much of a dick about it. She threw that shit at me. She said, "To hell with your store credit." I was like, what the fuck? And I was getting really mad because also I was young too. So I mean, I'm still young. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I'm ready to hop over this counter, lady. If you want to catch these hands, if you're really trying to start some shit here, because she technically assaulted me. I mean, she did throw the gift card at me, but whatever. I just walked away. And then some other manager came over and took care of it. I can't do this. I can't do this. But So many AMC YouTubers still haven't taken accountability for their BS pump yet they have the audacity to say "I told you so" on why it didn't squeeze. Ready Player, thank you for being here, and that's a fact. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So many people have come along to try and kind of grift off of like meme stocks, right? That aspect of things, and just clump the names. And I mean, there's various different aspects to it, but yeah, it's unfortunate because they've now blown up and now they have this platform, and it's like, what have they really done to earn it? And it just kind of, I feel like, encourages more people to think, well, Matt Kors blew up from talking about AMC, and whoever else, tried to blow up, or they at least started talking about that, then they shifted it into something else. And look, they still have followers like Terrible. I don't know what she talks about now. Like as like S&P trades or something. I don't even know, right? But the point is, I feel like encourage other people. That's kind of the saddest part about it, or most unfortunate part. But I own four stocks and know very little about trading, but I started with GME after doing some research and sounded like a fun ride. LOL. Sir Moist, it gets good. Honestly, I feel like once you learn to really invest in what you know, that's the best course of action. So as long as you feel confident in what you have, that's the best way to go. And as you have money over time, you can just look into what to invest. And honestly, I like GameStop right now. That's my favorite place to put money. But it's always good to know yourself as an individual. And I feel like a lot of people can learn about investing as a whole just from getting involved in GameStop and really understanding why so many individuals like myself just like love it, and like many other people watching this. And not just like understanding like why they love it, but the aspects to it, that there's more. It's not just love for it, it's true fundamentals around the company and a story of an ultimate turnaround that's really still just like, if we were doing like a 360, I feel like we're at the 180 point. We're like only halfway there. Like the company's like, it's moving to the next chapter, but it really isn't like doing that powerful super growth, right? Or like throwing out dividends, buying back shit, entering S&P. Like those are the big, like, oh, okay, we're like past 180. Those will be like the type of things I see as that. Okay, this cycle schedule's on. We got a pump now to do a double top within 5 days delayed news. Not funny. Tetron called Morantz a grifter. No way. Morantz not a grifter, only one real. Yes, yes. All jokes all around. Morantz is a big homie. Biggest of homies. But, and, SC, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. But yeah, guys, it's been such a fun ride. It really has been, and it'll continue to be a fun ride. Really, when I get my PC, I'm trying to start gaming. So if you guys want a game, that'll definitely be fun. Marantz, I know you play League, so if you're trying to play League, I'm not nice at all, but I'd be down to play one day. It could be a good time. Sorry, bro. There's a lot of people out there talking a lot of shit. Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. No, you're chilling. No worries. It's hard to know. But I've been in for a while though. That's the way to go, Sir Moist. That's the way to go. Just honestly buy and hold if you like a company. If that's investing, getting in and out of things, that's trading. And I used to invest, right? I used to tell people, oh, yeah, I invest. Like, literally in college, I was like, yeah, I've been investing for whatever. And I was like, I didn't even know what that meant. And especially in high school, too. I remember in high school, I used to have my laptop with like TD Ameritrade, and people thought I was doing some crazy shit because, like, I would try and use like things like RSI and the MACD and things like I really was, and trend lines like that. I have like basic knowledge of, and I have moved away from over time, and I should get back and become familiar with it. Just because I don't trade doesn't mean I shouldn't know it. But it's just funny at that time I would always be like changing it and think like, oh, I have the perfect set. Oh, when this happens, is boom, execute trade, boom, I know what I'm doing. And I'd be like, and a little bit of option shares, whatever I was doing, I don't even know. But I remember having the charts pulled up, and people would be like, what are you doing? Like I would not even pay attention in class because I was just screwed. So I'd be like doing that, and people would be like, this guy is doing some crazy shit. Like I was like a stock bro before stock bro was a trend. Put it that way. I would like to say that in terms of like, but like because I looked like I knew what I was doing. Everybody thought like, oh, this guy's. But I was just gooning around, like just trying to figure it all out. But it was fun times. It really was fun times. Let's see, damn, that's crazy. What's the spread here? All-time low. That means largest spread ever, right? That's crazy. That's the difference in yield. A whole 1.5%? That is actually nuts. Because this is when it inverted, right? Wow. November 2022, and that's actually crazy. I didn't realize it was that hard on the inverse, right? I mean, let's check Yahoo Finance. Bronze plays, got it. Worse. What's worse than bronze? Isn't there one even lower than it? I'm like an OG League player, but I don't play that often. Like, I haven't played in like a long ass time. Like every once in a while, I hop on and play with my friends, but I think I played my first ever game like literally 10 years ago or something crazy. I remember my friend showing me when I was in middle school. So maybe, yeah, I think like I remember like dying to play League of Legends after I got home from school each day. Like my grandma would just pick me up and I'd just run it. And I just was like, all right, I'm gonna go play some League of Legends. Say, okay. But also in hindsight, I do wish I spent. Let me preface this by saying she's still alive, and I'm very fortunate for that. And I do spend time with her. But I wish at that time spent more time with her after school because she picked me up almost every day, and I would just put my head in the computer. I mean, but sometimes she'd watch me play like Minecraft and stuff. She'd just think it's funny, so we'd like hang out and like with my brother too. So good times. But I wish I spent more time like actually doing stuff with her. So definitely a life lesson right there. Or looking back in hindsight, I'm like, damn. So that's why I try to spend time with her now, but because she's a real one. Watching Marantz over many months really changed my perspective on investing and just made me more responsible with what company I put my money with, something I am very grateful for. SC, I could totally agree with you. Watching Morantz has absolutely taught me the same thing because he spits facts. That's the straight up truth. And yeah, a lot of your perspective, Morantz, really, they have helped me understand a lot. So I really do thank you for that. And I feel like that's also part of just the people really invested in GameStop, not the I hold both or yeah, squeeze, yeah, all of that. The people really like looking at the company itself really have been able to learn that over time. And a person like Morantz, presenting that information has allowed people to be like, oh, this is really what's happening here. So shout out to you, Morantz, for that. I only invest a set amount of cash each month, slowly adding to my position, and don't mind these sub 25 prices. Ben L, that is the way to go, man. That is absolutely the way to go. Because if you're on a schedule and or you're organized, it's it just goes, right? It's just the way she goes. It's just the way she goes. Things just start kind of flowing. And I really love having these conversations too because to me it holds myself accountable. Anytime I think, "Oh, I'd love to just throw a bunch of fucking money in GameStop or I'd love to just buy this crazy shit, right? Or just go overboard and whatever." I think to myself, I'm like, "No, that's no, I'm literally having these conversations like what I don't know how I'm trying to say this like when you have the conversation about things and it like reminds you to like stick with that idea, if that makes sense, or like it's the sense of you're the average of the five people you are around you. You're the five closest people to you. You're the average of them. I really like that saying, or whatever the exact like quote is saying, but it really is true. If you look at the people closest to you, you truly are an average of all of them. Like you have some aspects of all of them within you, because you just kind of like rub off on each other over time. So that's why I feel like it's really important about who you surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with like hype YouTubers and just hype people in general that aren't looking at facts and just like whatever, what it could be anything. It doesn't have to be necessarily stocks or economics, but that's really where the troubles can start. And I feel like that's the awesome part about people investing in GameStop, communicating about it, because it really is like intelligent conversations and people who truly want to get better and just I don't know, I really feel like a lot of intelligent individuals that some of them even, didn't even know that much about investing. Like I would say I knew about stocks and I understand the aspects. I knew what like a PE ratio was, right? I knew what like long-term debt versus short-term debt. I knew, cash equivalents, all that stuff, but I didn't really know what investing was over time. And here we are today. I feel like I'm really starting to understand it and I'm very fortunate because I really feel like being so young, like I have the opportunity to really invest and like just understand, how money works. Like that's really the big thing too. Although I think money is changing a lot right now with everything going on in the world and the U.S. dollar and the world reserve currency. I mean, I'm going on like a whole tangent right now about various different things, but yeah, that's a whole thing in itself. But I don't know. I have good faith that America is going to pull through this. Like in the sense, U.S. dollar is going to remain pretty dominant or things will take a turn for the better. As I know there's a lot of craziness in the world right now, and a lot of like, oh, the U.S. is gonna fall. I don't know. This is like the United fucking States, baby. Like I don't know if anybody can stop us, but whatever, whatever. I don't want to get into all that. Marantz, you should get a restraining order against Kaz. That guy and Big, thank you for being here. Kaz, I don't even want to talk about it anymore because he's not even worth giving him the attention. Every time I start to go on a tangent about that nut job, I'm like, it's not even worth saying the name. He'll just literally say whatever for somebody to click his tweet or click whatever. So it's not even worth talking about. It's not even for me at least. I'll just clown show. Surround myself with 5 people and let them rub off on me. Got it. Exactly. No. Yeah, not like that, Ben. Not rub. Not that kind of rub off, if that's what you meant. But no, yeah, really, just the people around you. I feel like really, really impacts you. So that's why obviously, your parents are influential when you're first born, or those around you, your earliest friends, whatever you do together when you're younger kind of starts to shape you. So that's why it's, good to be around good people. And when I have kids, I hope they're around, like good kids. So hopefully, intelligent, not trying to just do a bunch of drugs and stupid shit or something like that. And who knows, or put chips in their brain or whatever it's going on at that point in time, in the future. Short sellers still doubting games. Oh yeah, Snacks, thank you for being here. Short sellers still down in GameStop and pricing it a lucky with quarter 4. Can't wait to pull a double profit quarter 1 and shock the world. I think you could be right, SC. I really think you could be, because cost cutting is a major focus of the company, and it doesn't seem like it's just going to stop. And it's not like they're temporary cost cuts. I really see long-term cost cuts, as in the cost cuts we're seeing aren't just going to show up for one quarter. They're going to be seen consistent over time and slightly creep lower potentially. And just low volume. It's crazy on GameStop stock. As of late, look, such low volume for the first time since literally the last insight. This is, oh yeah, look at that. This day, GameStop earnings, right around there, is the most volume the stock has had since insider buying, like around that period, or those earnings this same time last year. So almost 1 year later, massive amount of volume comes in again. So that's certainly interesting. It's definitely certainly maybe something. But the cycles, remember there used to always be cycles with stock, and it's just like kind of just, I don't know. Ever since the stock dividend, right over here, the volatility. I mean, don't get me wrong, the volatility is still there day to day, but these like larger term swings, if that, or longer term swings, like on a larger square. Fuck, totally butchered that. Longer term swings on a larger scale, as in like a month or so, we really kind of stopped seeing those as much. We more just see like move this way, move that way, and then look, big dramatic move, and just kind of back to, kind of cruising along. So it's interesting, just kind of cruising along, down, down, cruise up a little, boom, cruising along. I've seen that for a while. See, kind of cruising along, cruising along. I'm gonna cruise on down. Whoa, little jump. All right, cruising along, cruising along. Okay, cruising along, cruising along. So yeah, are we gonna just see another little run up type of thing here, then another cruise down? Because that would be interesting. Because then that would just be down, sideways, down, sideways, down, but mostly all sideways. See, that made no sense. That's my technical analysis. But oh, check something real quick. Just got disconnected here on the side. What happened? What happened to my chat on the side here? But yeah, JK, I feel you. Consistent investing over time despite the chaos of the markets, the world, etc. Exactly, Ben. Exactly, and I feel like that's a big thing right now. You have to tune out the world. That's definitely something I've been trying to do, because so much just noise and feelings and emotions and just crazy things happening, So sometimes I really think, like, would it be that bad after GameStop stock explodes and I hopefully collect a bunch of money and dividends and whatever else to come down the line, just achieve great wealth, one shape or form? Would it be that bad to really just go have a farm and just live a farm lifestyle? Like, it's just what you focus on, like, day to day. And like something I've been like researching randomly. I don't know. It's like called like stoicism, which is just like you don't like feed into your emotions. You just do and you just be. But like, I don't want to be like a robot. Like, it's not what I'm trying to be. But just being able to just, if that makes sense, in a world where everything's, like to be able to just, and I feel like it really helps people around you. Like anybody that I meet that's really calm, cool, collected, you just, again, the energy rubs off. You don't rub off, but the energy it rubs off on those around you. And I really want to present that to people in like a crazy world. I want to present like calm energy and like, okay, like figure things out. I want to like, it's a good way to be, and yeah, I don't know, but that's a random tangent. But really, thank you all of you guys for being here tonight. I think I'm going to wrap it up soon because I got to commit myself to actually like getting more sleep and getting more organized. I know I always say that, and like I do things step by step, but there's always more to do, and that's also the thing too. I feel like I always say like, oh, I got to do this, like I got to do that, I do that, but like the average person is not even thinking all the things I'm thinking. I'm like, I push myself so hard, like why am I even driving myself crazy like this? But then on the other hand, let me be very clear, that's one hand. But then on my other hand, I'm like, well, wait a minute. There's always someone out there working harder than me, right? And like this guy Marancio, this guy grinds, and mad respect to him. Morantz has the Mamba mentality, or Mamba mentality. Um, he just puts in the work, man. He puts in the work. He's out there every day, long ass live streams, puts out the videos. So I was like, well, I'm like, damn. Oh, I'm tired. I don't feel like it. I'm like, Morantz is making a video. It's not that I'm like, trying to compete like Morantz like that. But I mean, I just think, well, in general, somebody else there's doing it. I'm like, if Morantz can do it, I can do it. That's how I think of it more with him or somebody that I like. But if just thinking of it generally, they're just not even putting like a face to the perspective. Just say, well, someone else out there is doing it right now. Somebody else out there is doing more than me. So there's always be someone doing like less than you and doing more. So it's like I'm trying to find the perfect balance of like really pushing myself to be better, but also not like drive myself crazy and like make myself stressed or like just worry. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a good place to leave the stream for tonight. That's like a little like philosophical, or fuck, is that the word? I don't know. But low key, guys, you guys should really quickly subscribe to me on Kick if you guys have that set up. So I just set it up. Here's my game plan. When I start gaming, right? And if you guys don't want to like game with me or care about gaming, you don't have to subscribe to this at all. So that's why I'm going to do it separate. I'm going to do some kind of giveaway or something on Kick for like my first stream or first couple streams. I don't know, just to mess around and like just to try games. And like my goal is to inevitably, like when I get my PC, I'm gonna play like Kiraverse and a bunch of the different games coming out, like with games being a part of GameStop's NFT marketplace, where you can trade the assets on the NFT marketplace, because that's a product of GameStop, the NFT marketplace. I really want to utilize it, so I want to play the games, and then I could also stream it, and stream with some of you guys, game with some of you guys. I really feel like that could be a good time. So I figured, I don't know, I'll just try out this Kick thing, like it's the new thing, like, and I don't want to do like gaming streams. Maybe I'll do it here and there, maybe on the YouTube, but I don't know. It's just a thought for down the line, guys. So if you guys want to check it out, just straight Tetron on there, just at Tetron. I guess that's what it is. Yeah, there we go. So I got my little fish tank. That's my homie right there. So yeah, I don't know, but that I'm not even gonna do for a while. I don't even have a PC yet, so I'd maybe have to stream like, oh, I could stream the Wii. That could be kind of fun to stream. Maybe I'll do it with my brother. I should low-key do it with my brother like right now. Oh, but I'm fucking tired. That'd be a lot, but that'd be fun. Nah, not tonight. Not tonight. Another night. But and I would, yeah, because I would want to do like a giveaway and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's just some of where my head is at. But when I hit the PC, guys, Tetron's gonna get kicked into high gear. Get ready. I mean, I'm still gonna keep kicking it into high gear, but that's really what I'm trying to get it rocking and rolling. But what do I have here again? Brand links. Zing Pop Culture, Australia. EP Games is Australia. Micromania is a French company. Just random tidbits of information I was putting together last time for GameStop's other names under association of GameStop. But farm life is legit. Waiting to grow mushrooms and aquaponics. Quiet house by the sea for me. With an underground bunker, lol. Yeah, honestly, that's the way to go, badass, honestly. Montana Ranch for me, but also penthouses in Chicago and Seattle, huh? It's called the Marantz Motivation. That's a fact, badass. I like that. Marantz Motivation right there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there for today, guys. I really do appreciate all of you being here and keep putting out videos. Don't get me wrong. As I start to do some different things, I don't want to get away from talking about GameStop and like the main thing here, because I love GameStop and I want to keep talking about it. And I'm not just gonna go like stream Fortnite and like do random shit like that. Maybe I'll try and stream Fortnite once, but that'll just be like a side little like fun thing and just a way to also like connect with some of you guys. So it could be a good time. But hope everyone out there has a good night. Take care.